Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order of the Wheaton Park District Board of Commissioners. Mike, could we have the roll call, please?
Yes, you can. Excuse me. Commissioner Byers?
Here.
Commissioner Mee?
Here.
Commissioner Morrow?
Here.
Commissioner Kelly?
Here.
President Hodgkinson?
Here. Do we have any public presentations tonight?
No, we do not, but I will make note that Commissioner Fry did indicate that he was called out of town at the last minute, will not be here this evening, and Commissioner Schobel said he is expected to arrive somewhat late, but should be here.
Good. Great. Do we have any public input? Did anybody sign up to speak? Okay, great. All right, the first item on our agenda is the consent agenda. I'm looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Move to approve consent agenda, items A, B, C, and D. Approval of disbursements totaling $989,381.28 for the period beginning August 12, 2015, ending September 1, 2015. Approval of the August 19, 2015 regular meeting minutes. Approval of the August 26, 2015 finance stuff. I'm sorry. C and D we don't have, correct?
Correct. We need to pull
Okay,
those.
strike that. I will amend that to just approval of the first two items, A and B.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Mee and a second by Morrill to approve the consent agenda as presented and amended to include items A and B, but not items C and D. Are there any questions, comments, or John?
I had a correction in the minutes. From the last meeting, the July 15th meeting minutes, item number 4, the change order for the Wheaton Park tennis courts. There's some missing words in that sentence. It says Commissioner Kelly stated that the contractor took possession of the site. He noticed the posts leaning and the foundations were moving, so he recommended putting a unitary surface down. That's not what we talked about. We talked about he recommended replacing the posts before we put the unitary surface down.
Okay.
So the change order was for replacing the posts.
All right.
So Mike, I marked it on mine if you guys want to take it so you can just...
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's on page 3 at the bottom. Paragraph 4, the third.
Yep, I see it now.
Page
Okay.
3, paragraph 4.
Yeah, the change order was for replacing posts.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you. We'll get that corrected.
All right. Any other changes? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No, excuse me, roll call, right?
We're paying the bill, so we should probably take
Roll
a vote.
call.
Commissioner Byers?
Yes.
Commissioner Morrill?
Yes.
Commissioner Mee?
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly?
Yes.
President Hodgkinson?
Yes. All right, the next item is our unfinished business, the approval of the lowest responsible bid for the general obligation refunding park bonds, Series 2015A. Robert W. Baird from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, at a final interest rate of 1.911264.5%. And then item B, is that in the same motion?
I would take, I don't know, Dave, what do you think? Same motion? Thank you.
And then also included, looking for approval of the second part of that, the approval of the lowest responsible bid for the taxable general obligation refunding park bond series 2015B from Hutchison, Shockey, and Early from Chicago, Illinois, at a final interest rate of 2.2695362%. Is there a motion?
I would move to approve. Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Byers and a second from, I believe it was from me, to approve as presented. Do we want any public comment from Dave?
I think perhaps Dave Phillips from Spear Financial, who's our municipal advisor on such matters, has a few words.
Good evening. I come loaded with usually bids from Chapman Cutler's here this evening as well to bring hand deliver some of the bond ordinances and usually work in the transaction as well. But the refundings today really turned out excellent. We had $1.85 million of savings between the two series of bonds, which was outstanding. Both sales were competitively sold. We had 4 bidders with the Series 2015 and they bid a total of 21 times among the 4 bidders to identify the lowest bid from here as being the lowest and most responsible. There was actually 7 bidders that were involved in the taxable general obligation series 2015B, and they bid a total of 49 times, I believe, 43 times among them to establish Shockey as the winning bidder. Excellent sale results. Part of that process is to go through the rating process that you have a AA2 rating from the rating agency. Mike and Rita went through that process with just excellent representation of the district and your finances and the local economy. To retain that AA2 in this kind of economy is really remarkable and speaks well of the financial management of the community and the tax base that you have. And so, it's that type of preparation that leads to these type of results that are just outstanding. When you look at $1.85 million of savings, it's a remarkable number, and it really couldn't have been accomplished without the good financial management of the district and really taking advantage of doing it at optimum time. So congratulations. Certainly open to answer any questions that you may have.
Good. John?
Hey, Dave, can you explain a little bit to anybody that might be listening that we're not taking on more debt, but this is like a refinance?
This is like a refinancing so that there is no new money that's involved. There's just savings to the taxpayers. These were both voted general obligation bonds from 2005. So the taxpayers will see a reduction in cost for the bonds that are being issued to replace the 5% bonds that are being replaced with 2.2%, for example. So, it was a good sale in 2005, but times change. You're shorter on the yield curve, and with your rating, the results are self-explanatory.
The structure too changed on that a little bit, and can you talk a little bit about how that's going to affect the tax levy?
The effort in the refunding of the taxable bonds particularly was extended out an additional year so that instead of a rising tax rate, assuming a rising equalized assessed value, there was really an effort to see marketable savings in each of the years that are before you. When you look at the savings levels in the refunding itself, you're looking at over $1 million of savings for the taxpayers at the end of the issue. It's $300,000 to $400,000 initially. So it's going to be able to flatten your levy for your bond and interest account, and instead of seeing a rising levy over time. So it's a realization that today is different than the levels of 2005 and the anticipations that were built into that 2005 debt service. The reality is more of a level equalized assessed value, and the district has done, I think, an excellent job of minimizing the impact on the taxpayers in these trying times.
Any other questions? Terry?
Just a comment, and thanks for the help from both of you. That's good news for us and the taxpayer.
Good. Okay. Any other comments? All right. Thank you very much, Dave. We certainly appreciate all your work on this, too. We have a motion before us. Roll call.
Commissioner Byers?
Yes.
Commissioner Mee?
Yes.
Commissioner Morrill?
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly?
Yes.
President Hodgkinson?
Yes.
Excuse me.
All right. The next item is Ordinance 2015-04. An ordinance providing for the issue of approximately $4 million in general obligation refunding park bonds, Series 2015A, and approximately $16 million of taxable general obligation refunding park bonds, Series 2015B, for the purpose of refunding certain outstanding bonds providing for the levy of a direct annual tax sufficient to pay the principal and interest on said bonds, and authorizing the sale of said bonds to the purchasers thereof.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Vyers and a second by Morrill.
It's just under discussion. We do have, because of the sale taking place, the actual figures, and perhaps Ann-Hlee under discussion could explain those. They're approximate because the bond auction had not taken place yet. So perhaps for perfecting the record under discussion, Ann-Hlee can tell us exactly what we're issuing in these two cases.
Great.
Hello, everyone. We do put approximations of the par amount in the agenda language because that is posted prior to the sale. So we usually adjust upwards just a little bit for purposes of the agenda language, just to give the public an idea of the scope and the size of the bond sale. But the exact figures that were sold for the Series 2015A bonds was $3,660,000. And the exact par amount for the taxable 2015B series is $14,925,000.
I'll amend my motion and include those new amounts. $3,660,000 for Series A, 2005A, and $14,925,000 for Series 2015B.
Second. I'll second that.
Thank you. Any other discussion or questions? All right, all in favor of the motion, roll call.
Commissioner Vyers?
Yes.
Commissioner Mee?
Yes.
Commissioner Morrill?
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly?
Yes.
President Hodgkinson?
Yes. Thank you very much. Okay. Next is Ordinance 2015-03.
Maybe we take a minute just so we can release the municipal advisors.
Okay.
Did we get that? Is that signed? Okay. Dave and Ann-Hlee, you're more than welcome to stay and watch subcommittee. But having done an excellent job today, you should probably punch the clock.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much. Thank you very much. All right, next, Ordinance 2015-03, adopting amendments to the investment policy of the Wheaton Park District.
I move to table this item.
All right, we have a motion to table. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Why are we tabling this?
We amended the investment policy statement and reviewed it at the last Finance Committee meeting. And then before this meeting, we submitted it to our counsel, Tressler, to take a look at it. Steve Adams reviewed it, and he had some suggestions as changes to the language. So I think the Finance Committee should meet one more time to perfect the language using his recommendations, and then present the finished document at the next meeting.
Okay, thank you, John. All in favor of the motion to table signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion passes. All right, request to promote 3 part-time park operations employees to full-time status to meet increased operational demand.
So moved.
We have a motion by me.
Second.
Second by Morrill. All right, questions and comments? Ray?
Is this in the budget? Is it in the budget, Rob?
Yes, the positions that were, sorry, Rob, the positions that were originally contemplated prior to the new board being seated were all put in the budget and reflected changes on the part-time side that would counter it. So the short answer is yes, because these have been contemplated now for many months as we had reviewed in subcommittee each division's positions. So our budget is sound, and as we move forward, it becomes necessary to amend the budget, we can do that as well. But short answer, yes.
The other thing is it true that we are using approximately 9,000 less man-hours because of not having these positions filled?
What's true is in fiscal 14, which it's hard to believe it's already September and 15, we did have approximately 10,000 less user hours across the board used, I guess, labor hours, not user hours, pardon me. Let me start over again. 10,000 less labor hours for the Parks and Planning Department from 14 to 13 or 13 to 14 as a result of the maintenance of our existing full-time cohort as well as the maintenance of part-time staff under the new statute of 1,540 hours a year to avoid ACA fines. Sorry, that could have been clearer, but did you get the gist of it?
I got it.
Thanks.
John, you had a comment?
Yeah, so, Rob, when we were doing this in the Finance Subcommittee meetings, each department head was coming with what we were calling their Affordable Care Act additions to overcome the problems with the 28 hours. And we didn't do Parks Division because it was right when we lost our last director, and we decided to wait till we had a new director. I see a lot of the materials the same. Have you had a chance to review all the stuff from Larry's original recommendations, and as the new director, is this what you believe is the best thing for your department? More full-time versus a combination of full and part like some of the other departments did?
I think at this point, I think the reasoning behind this is sound, and that's why it's substantially what you've seen before. And I mean, we're seeing it right now as we've seen the drop in our summer guys, and we're having a tough time keeping up right now due to the lack of full-time year-round folks.
Okay. Do you think the addition of 3 will hold you over for a while?
Good start.
It better be.
Next one will be coming to committee.
Yeah, I think whenever we're looking at these positions, we would like to see them in committee, and we know that this one did come through committee the last time, so certainly any new positions, we want to review those in committee.
Thanks, Ren.
Will do.
Thank you. All right, did we have a motion? Sorry, Terry.
Mike, I presume then it will not backfill those formerly part-time positions with part-timers?
There was a lot going on in that question that I didn't follow. We will be replacing 3 permanent part-time positions, but they will be RIF'd, reduced in force.
I thought the financial analysis had a part-time credit.
Yes, there will be a part-time use, but it is not dollar for dollar. It never has been in any of these. So it's not reasonable to expect, as we've discussed in many other divisions, a dollar for dollar reduction in part-time expenses because there's still that seasonal work that needs to be done. And if there's been some confusion over that, I apologize. But we will replace permanent part-time. Excuse me, that's no longer true because of ACA. Seasonal part-time staff, and they will be that force will be reduced on a date firm, and we will pay the resulting unemployment as a result. But it will also keep us from going afoul of the Affordable Care Act. So let's be clear on all of that.
Any other questions? Comments? Did we have a motion to approve that? Mm-hmm. Okay. Roll call then.
Commissioner Byers?
Yes.
Commissioner Morrow?
Yes.
Commissioner Mee?
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly?
Yes?
President Hodgkinson?
Yes.
Mark is here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Commissioner Schobel?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Motion approved. Next is the approval of amendments to the purchasing and disposal sections of the Wheaton Park District Finance Policy document.
So moved.
There's a motion by me, I believe,
Second.
and a second by Byers to approve the amendments to this discussion. Comments, Terry?
Yeah, I think we kicked this around before, right? This is just a refinement of what we were
Yes,
doing.
this has been through our committee.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Any other comments? All in.
Policy, we should probably take a
Okay. Roll call then.
vote. Commissioner Byers?
Yes.
Commissioner Morrow?
Yes.
Commissioner Schobel,
Yes.
Commissioner Mee,
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly,
Yes.
President Hodgkinson.
Yes. All right. Next, we have a request to approve engaging Abbott Tree Care Professionals in the amount of $18,800 for the removal of the dying cottonwood trees at Northside Park. Is there a motion to approve that?
I'll move to accept the bid from Abbott Tree Care Professionals in the amount of $18,800.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Kelly, and I'm not sure, second by Schobel. Thank you, Mark. To approve this motion as presented. Questions or comments?
Just a comment. Rob, these are the trees you had the meeting with the residents. Explain the dangers of the age of them.
Yeah, we didn't have a formal meeting. We utilized the president of the Homeowners Association, who corresponded by email with all those folks, and I believe I have their comments back in here. So we do have a couple more that we need to basically reach out and say, look, the decision was based on the liability of these trees. We do need to take them down, and we're going to have a planting plan to replace them. Obviously, not in light of cottonwoods, but something more suitable in the location that's not going to cause a long-term problem.
Okay, so we're not expecting a flood of phone calls then that they were out there cutting them down.
Define a flood.
Good job.
Well, and this was Rob.
More than 10.
This was Rob
No.
after limbs fell from existing trees and did damage in some of the
It was good timing.
homeowners' private property. So it's a good thing for us to take care of them. Any other comments?
I'd just like to make one that, these are difficult decisions, and I want to compliment Deb Seymour and Kevin Flynn and their crews, and Rob Spurl, of course, for, this has been a long time coming. People get attached to these gigantic cottonwoods because they provide so much shade. And I want to compliment our staff for doing a great job keeping the public informed and also protecting the public safety through this action. Nobody likes to see trees go, but this is a must. Thank you, staff.
Good. Great. Do we vote?
Yes. Commissioner Byers?
Yes.
Commissioner Schobel?
Yes.
Commissioner Morrow?
Yes.
Commissioner Mee?
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly?
Yes.
President Hodgkinson?
Yes. Next is a request to approve engaging Wiecek Architects Limited for design services related to Causley Zoo improvements in an amount not to exceed $30,000. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion by Morrill.
Well, let's see where it goes. This one.
Second.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve Wiecek Architects in the amount of $30,000, subject to legal counsel stating there is no conflict of interest in doing so.
I'll second that.
I can, as a matter of discussion, Terry, Ray had asked me to verify with Tressler that because of Larry's position on the foundation board that serves the capital improvement needs of the Causley Zoo, that it wouldn't be a conflict of interest for the Park District to hire him to work on Causley Zoo. And I neglected to get that done in time for the meeting, hence the qualifier, which I support wholeheartedly.
Then perhaps we just table it until we get that legal opinion.
I think it's important, as our accreditation is looming, Terry, to have some work scheduled as our accreditation submission is reviewed by the AZA. So it's a good idea to have this commitment made prior to the final decision being made on our accreditation. So I would encourage approval.
And I understand that the AZA conference is coming up prior to our next meeting, so
That's correct.
I can go along for that,
I
Ray.
think it's in 2 weeks, yeah. Ray?
Yeah, it's not any criticism of Larry Wiecek or his ability to do the job. I have all the confidence in the world in him. I just don't want Larry to be in trouble or the Wheaton Park District to be in trouble if indeed there is a conflict of interest because of his role on the Causley Foundation. So I just want clarification that everything is above board.
Yeah, and I will say this, that, as the liaison from the board to the Zoo Foundation, I make almost every one of the meetings, and there's nobody, in my opinion, that has a better connection to it and a handle on what's needed there than Larry does. So, let's say I'll be hopeful, that our legal counsel doesn't find a conflict there.
All right. Any other comments? John, did you have one? No? Okay. So we will have a roll call vote on this?
Yes. Commissioner Byers?
Yes.
Commissioner Schobel?
Yes.
Commissioner Mee?
Yes.
Commissioner Morrill?
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly?
Yes.
President Hodgkinson?
Yes. And Donna, I just wanted to make sure you got the provision that Ray added to that. Thank you very much. Okay. Next, for new business is bid results and recommendation requesting the authorization to engage Play Illinois for the Brighton Playground Equipment Replacement Project in the amount of $51,188. Yes.
So moved.
We have a motion by Kelly. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Morrill. Comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Byers?
Yes.
Commissioner Schobel?
Yes.
Commissioner Mee?
Yes.
Commissioner Morrill?
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly?
Yes.
President Hodgkinson?
Yes. All right. Next, we're requesting approval of amendment to park rental fee schedule beginning January 2016. I believe that this is something that Rob submitted to the committee to review. They've had a chance to review that. Is there a motion to approve it?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
We have a motion by me and a second by Byers to approve the revised park rental fee schedule for starting January 2016. Comments? Terry?
Just can we have a little discussion on this?
Sure.
Rob, this is your recommendation?
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about the motivation for this?
Sure. You'll see that on a number of our parks we have minimum 4-hour rentals, which basically limits us to 2 rentals per day. On some of the smaller parks, it's even worse. It's per 6-hour rentals. So by reducing the rental time and increasing the fee slightly, we'll probably see a net, or no net change in rentals unless we, get behind promoting these things and really advertising it. But what it does is give us a little bit more flexibility in terms of scheduling these. Now, the other side to it is that on some of the parks, we don't feel that the deposit fees were adequate, that, if something went wrong, if we had some damage, if there was a lot to clean up, we weren't going to cover our staff time on it. So that's simply what we're trying to do on the deposit side.
So you're not foreseeing a significant increase in the revenue for these rentals?
That's not necessarily the goal of what I was trying to do here. It was basically cover our costs, provide a little bit more flexibility.
Thanks, Rob.
Yeah, John.
Hey, Rob, on the level 3 parks, does the rental include the playgrounds, or is it just the open space area for picnic?
That's an excellent question. Primarily, it's been the open space that we've allowed. We haven't shut down playgrounds per se to say that, this is rented, nobody else can be on the playground. Hasn't really been an issue.
Because that was my concern when this came up, when we started renting out our parks, is people come up to use the equipment and it's owned by the taxpayers, and how do we avoid a conflict of people telling other people they have to leave? We've got the park rented today, and then they've got a piece of paper in their hand, and I was just trying to avoid conflict. So I'd like to see that not include the playgrounds. I hate for families to go up to the park on a Saturday and somebody's rented Kelly Park's playground and nobody else can use it. To me, I don't think we need the money that bad to start closing our playgrounds for private use.
If I may, it was never the intention, and obviously our language needs to be refined to reflect that. And I think we can accomplish that absent further board direction or approval. But in all cases, we're talking about the reservation for this venue of a shelter and the surrounding area. The entire park, excepting when the entire park is an athletic field, is never taken out of the public domain. The athletic field rental policies are coming up in October after a subcommittee review, so we have 2 separate things going on here. We would never take an entire park out of the public domain. As I said, unless it's a small park and the only thing on it is a soccer field.
So you are going to amend, or are you going to draft some language?
We'll correct the language to be more specific and understandable to the public, and if it pleases the board, we'll do that absent any further board review.
I'm good with that.
Okay, good. All right. We're looking for approval for the executive director to execute change order number 1 with Jasco Electric in the amount of...
We didn't vote.
Oh, we did vote, I'm sorry, thanks. It's all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Thanks for catching that. Next, we have the change order number 1 with Jasco Electric in the amount of $10,274. Is there a motion?
Yeah,
We have a motion by Kelly.
Second.
Did we do this last? I think we still reviewed it at the committee.
We just reviewed it at the subcommittee.
oh, that's what we did.
We
I thought we
reviewed
did it the last
we
board
reviewed it
meeting.
this last...
So I'm making a motion that we approve a change order to Jasco Electric in the amount of, well, there it is, $10,274.
For the addition of conduits.
Yeah, this is basically for add-in receptacles on some of the light poles as requested by the rec department. So when we run events, there's places to put speakers and coolers and that type of stuff.
Second.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Kelly and a second by Byers to approve this. Any more comments?
Yeah, the only thing I'd like to note is that, even with this change order, the total project is still $60,000 under budget, about 8%. So.
Yeah. Roll call or not?
Sure.
Roll call.
Commissioner Byers?
Yes.
Commissioner Schobel?
Yes.
Commissioner Mee?
Yes.
Commissioner Morrow?
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly?
Yes.
President Hodgkinson?
Yes. All right, now we're talking about a change order with Northern Illinois Fence in the amount of $3,492.
I move that we approve a change order to Northern Illinois Fence for $3,492 for extending the dugout back fence, correct? Out past the light pole. And this was caused by the fact that because we're lighting soccer fields and lighting baseball fields, one of the outfield poles on one of the fields can't be as far off the baseline as we would like, or to create a reduced lighting area in the corner of one of the soccer fields. So rather than just putting a pad around that, we're going to bring the sideline fence out so the pole is outside the fence line. There's still plenty of foul territory, but we don't want to risk somebody running into a padded pole.
Any other comments or questions? Since this is a dollar amount below $5,000, we can do this with a simple majority vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion passed. Next is a request from the recreation staff, I believe, for an additional full-time athletic program manager to meet the increased operational and program demand. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
I'll second it.
Okay, so we have a motion by me and a second by Morrill. Am I correct there?
Correct.
Yep.
We had a report in our packet about the additional revenue that the athletic department is producing and the needs that they feel with the addition of Central Athletic Complex and so forth. So are there questions? Yeah.
Go ahead. I want to say that, because I attend many of the higher profile, athletic events here, I know who's there constantly. And so, there's some help needed here, and I think this is a long time coming. I think, I have to give regard to the staff, a recommendation here because I see the work that's being done, and we certainly aren't diminishing the number of programs and the number of people in our programs. So, and I think we need to continue that effort out there, and I think it's only going to be done with that additional person.
Okay, John?
Yeah, I don't believe when we were doing the ACA stuff, we had any full-time out of the rec department, did we?
That's what I was going to ask Mary Beth. Remember when we discussed?
I didn't think we had one. They stayed on here until we had figured out we had all this extra usage. I think you
Right,
were
this
fine.
has nothing to do with that. This has to do with the operational demand that we need for staffing.
Okay. Other questions or comments? Do we have a motion? I forgot.
We do.
All right, roll call.
Commissioner Byers?
Yes.
Commissioner Morrow?
Yes.
Commissioner Schobel?
Yes.
Commissioner Me?
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly?
Yes.
President Hodgkinson?
Yes.
Did I miss anybody? I can't see all the way down. I think I'm good.
I know we hear voices down.
Thank you.
We know there are people down at that end. We just can't see who you are.
John's making noises.
All right, next we have a request from Director Bernard to execute a professional services agreement with Advanced Intelligence Engineering, AIE, for a 3-year engagement beginning January 1st, 2016 for managed services of information technology operations for the Wheaton Park District at a cost of $143,400 per year and a one-time $10,000 initial startup cost for a 3-year total of $440,200.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Morrow.
Second.
Thank you, John. All right, questions and comments?
It's going to make us better, right, Mike?
Yes, sir. And I'd like to, as an additional comment, I'd like to acknowledge the work of our finance department and the staff that took part in the part of the vetting process as it related to customer service. It was a long process, and we sought the assistance of outside consulting to help us navigate it. And I believe we have an outstanding decision and an outstanding firm we're going to be putting on. Thank you.
All right, so we have a roll call vote on this.
Commissioner Byers?
Yes.
Commissioner Me?
Yes.
Commissioner Schobel?
Yes.
Commissioner Morrow?
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly?
Yes.
President Hodgkinson?
Yes. Next, we have an approval for the executive director to execute a 5-year professional services agreement and a 5-year lease agreement. We've been discussing this over the course of the evening.
Yes, if I may, I've received some requests for additional detail and possibly a different road from 2 board members, and it is certainly fine with our timing if it is the board's will to table this for October and flesh it out even further. It is always my goal to provide the sufficient amount of detail for the board to make a confident decision, and if I fell short in this case, by all means, let's table it.
Move the table.
Second.
So we have a motion by me and a second by Kelly to table this until further review.
October 21.
October 21st. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thanks. And I think that we should say to the staff, we're not trying to delay your technology improvements, and we are very sensitive to what we hear are some of the problems that you're having with your technology. Okay. Next, are we ready for Linda's report?
Well, Linda is here to answer any questions about her very, very well-crafted report concerning our active adult and leisure center operation. So I guess the floor belongs to the board.
Does anyone have any questions for Linda?
Well done. I enjoyed reading. Linda, the highlights were enjoyable. It looked like the people were having a good time. That wasn't all staged, was it? That was a nice report, thank you.
I noticed that we're working with Angelo Capuli's daughter. Is that correct?
We are, yes.
Good. It's nice. We're sharing people with other park districts.
It's a small world.
Yeah.
It is.
It's smaller every day.
Yeah. Any other comments about the leisure center report?
No, I thought it was good.
It's a good report. Thank you very much, Linda. We appreciate everything you do with the seniors.
Thank you, Linda.
Okay. Now, we are going to go into, I had this circled on my other
About the comments about Comments about staff
Okay,
reports?
we're not going in yet. I'm just finding out what we're going to ultimately go into.
No.
All right, now let's talk about the staff and subcommittee reports.
It was in my packet.
Yeah, Ray, you want to start us
Start
off?
at the end and come this way, or what do you want to do?
I'll start in the middle and go both ways.
We had talked at one time about doing an RFP for attorney services. No different than what we have done in the past for our auditors. Occasionally we do that. Every 3 or so years we take a look at where we're at. And I think that probably it's getting close to time to do that for our attorneys. So at some point in the immediate future, I think we need to be addressing that. Master plan comments, I'm still waiting for comments from the board members. Please read the master plan, give me your comments. I'm not going to push it really hard until after our tour of the parks, but after the tour, you're going to get tired of me. And the last
Oh, we don't have to wait that long.
They're tired of you now, I think is what you're saying.
I'm teasing you, Ray.
And the last thing is, now that Mike is out of the house at Arrowhead, I'd like a report from the staff as to what we might consider doing with it, including possibly knocking it down.
We will provide options as we had discussed in the past. Is there a time frame that the board wishes to see a list of options for the future of that facility?
I don't know, how much time do you think you need, Mike?
2 months? A month?
I'd like to see us start the new fiscal year with the game plan. So 3 months seems adequate.
That's fine.
I'd rather have more time and have a more thoroughly thought-out plan than rush to make a judgment and then trying to decide it too soon. That's my preference.
Yeah, I'm going to be real hesitant to, support any knockdown of that structure. That's a pretty good structure. So, but it'll be helpful to see everything that we might be able to do with it.
For the purpose of setting, thank you, Terry. For the purpose of setting a schedule, as there no longer is an active Arrowhead committee, perhaps this is a buildings and grounds issue, and we can schedule it at such a time that should every board member wish to attend the discussion to review the options provided by staff, we could do that in, I'd say our latest timeline would be a November subcommittee discussion and a December action.
Good idea.
That's fine.
Yeah. And if it takes 2 months to work it out once the first meeting, that's fine too. Yeah.
Andy and Rob, do you think we can accomplish that?
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay. Other comments? Terry?
Who can speak to the Century Garden Play for All Play Day? I know there was some weather problems. Is that you, Margie?
Mm-hmm.
I know the report said it was well attended.
We did. We had, well, I don't know, maybe 7,500 people out there, even though the rain was not on our side, but it was a good day.
How well has the playground been used since it's been, it's not all finished, but at least 1 or 2 phases, right?
I think Rob can probably speak to that more.
Phase 1 is done.
Okay.
They've had a lot of people out there.
Every time our guys are out there, doing any sort of little maintenance work, they see people playing on the playground. I mean, just every day.
Thanks, Rob. And to the golf staff, thanks for being responsive to the request for the combo tees. I've gotten several compliments about, once we added those silver tees, people are liking it and they're using it too. That was a winner. And the new washroom, I know that we still have cart paths to get in there, but, it's a lot of compliments about that. It's clean and it's everything that those porta potties haven't been. So, Andy, when are the new cart paths going in?
The carpet around the washroom?
Yeah, exactly.
It's hopefully at the end of this week. Obviously, with the rain we got yesterday, it's a little wet back there.
That's the only thing we got left, right?
Yeah, all the cart paths are allowed capital funding has been completed.
And comments?
We'll be doing more next year. Oh, and then seal coat in the parking lot by the end of the month. The parking lot will be seal coat.
Parks Plus, we seem to continue to increase the membership. And Margie, thanks for the marketing help on that because I think it's working. So we seem to continue to improve. So we're better than we were in the past few years. Thanks.
Comments? Yes, John?
I just compliment Dan and whoever else was working on the Shakespeare in the Park partnership with Wheaton College. I attended that with my family. It's a terrific event. I was really impressed with the level of the production, the lighting, the sound. It was really amazing. And I was also amazed by the number of people who were in the park there. Dan, do you have any idea how many people were in that park?
We got close to 2,000 per show.
2,000. That's just amazing. So it's a terrific event.
That's double.
Dan, when in doubt, make up a big number.
Yeah, I believe it.
John, I think it was more like 20,000 each night.
I would have bought that too.
It was a lot.
People were watching on their rough second.
Other comments? Any other comments down there? All right. Margie, I had a question for you. I was going to ask you about some kind of ad or program place where we show our rental facilities for some of our various facilities. Do we have a particular area where people can go to either the website or what have you and find out if they want to rent Memorial Park or some of our lesser-known kinds of facilities?
Mm-hmm.
Is that, okay.
There's information on the website, and then we have produced a trifold piece which highlights some of the more popular locations.
Okay.
But most of the information is on the website.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right. Do we have a motion to go? Oh, excuse me. I want to remind all the commissioners that we have a tour of the parks on September 26th. I believe that starts at 9 a.m. at Arrowhead and then concludes at 3 p.m. that day. And just want to remind everybody of that. And we had asked that we especially get a chance to see some of the capital projects that we think that we'll be needing to look at over the next few years for the district.
And we will be noticing that meeting up due to the number of board members that will be present.
Great. All right. So do we have a motion to go into closed session for the purpose of purchase of or lease of real property 5 ILCS 122C5 and for pending and probable or imminent litigation 5 ILCS 122C11.
So moved.
Second.
So we have a motion by Ray and a second by John to go into closed session at 7:50 or 7:49. Do we need roll call?
Yes, and I'll make the comment that unless I am mistaken, there will be no pending action subsequent to closed session other than adjourning the meeting.
But you're welcome to wait around if you want to.
I wouldn't.
All right. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Oh, we did roll call.
Commissioner Byers?
Yes.
Commissioner Schobel?
Yes.
Commissioner Mee?
Yes.
Commissioner Morrow?
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly?
Yes.
President Hodgkinson?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much, everybody.
We gotta go find a place.